Hey everyone, welcome back to the Lone Road iRacers podcast. I'm your host, Guy Robertson. Today we're tackling a subject that every iRacer, whether you're fresh out of rookie class or fighting in the big boy leagues, has wrestled with. Why is it so incredibly hard to win in iRacing? That is today's subject matter. And if you're one of those daring souls trying to master multiple types of racing, road, oval, dirt and rally, you already know it gets even tougher. In this episode we're breaking it all down. Why winning is elusive by design. How different racing styles stretch your abilities thin. The invisible factors that hold you back. And how to shift your mindset to improve race after race. If you've ever screamed at your screen after a race you almost won, this episode's for you. Let's set the foundation first. iRacing is not supposed to be easy. When you log into iRacing, you're stepping into the closest thing to a professional motorsport that sim racing has to offer. And in professional motorsport, winning isn't routine, it's an event, it's a story. Think about it. Even among world-class drivers, the ones with million-dollar sponsors and dedicated pit crews, winning is rare. Max Verstappen might make it look easy sometimes, but that's only after years of relentless refinement, near superhuman focus, and the best teams in the world backing him. Most pro racers go years without tasting even one victory. iRacing tries to capture that same spirit. It doesn't adjust difficulty to make you feel good. It doesn't give out participation trophies, well, not yet anyway. It puts you in with the sharks and expects you to swim. And honestly, that's what makes iRacing so special. When you finally earn that win. When you survive the racecraft battles, master the strategy and resist the pressure. It feels real. Because it is real. At least in every way that matters to us, the iRacers. Now let's talk about why trying to win across multiple disciplines is so uniquely brutal. Racing isn't a one-size-fits-all skill. You might be a monster in road racing, but jump into a dirt street stock or a sprint car and suddenly you're spinning on corner exit like it's your first day in the sim. So we're going to dig into why that happens. Precision, consistency and patience define road racing. You're optimizing every input, steering, brake, throttle, lap after lap. Every corner is its own mini battle. You have to manage understeer and oversteer constantly. Apex late here, trail brake there, full commitment into blind corners. Know exactly when to defend and when to concede. And in multi-class racing it's even harder. GT3s might be slicing through your MX-5 battle mid-race, forcing you to adapt instantly while you're still racing your race. Then moving into oval racing. Oval racing is chess at 200 miles per hour and the strategies are way deeper than people give it credit for. You've got to read the draft, manage air pressure and aero wash, control your car's temperature, tyre and engine depending on pack positioning. And don't even get me started on pit strategy under caution. One bad call, pit too early, pit too late. Don't take tyres when you should do and you're buried 20th in traffic with no way forward. Plus oval racing often compresses the entire race into a tap lap burst after every caution. It's relentless pressure. Moving into dirt oval, nothing stays constant. Imagine if the road under your tyres changed every single lap. That's what happens in dirt. The fast line moves, the ruts get deeper. You have to run the wall, the slider line, the bottom, constantly adjusting. And it's not just about lap time, it's about knowing when to send it. Sometimes you need to throw an aggressive slider and pray the guy you're passing lifts, and sometimes you need to back off to avoid a massive wreck. Every pass, every corner exit could be the end of your race. Rallycross is full contact, short burst, adrenaline fueled chaos. The tracks force you to transition between gravel and asphalt smoothly. Brake earlier on dirt and later on tarmac. Adjust your cornering line mid-race as ruts and bumps form. You also have to manage the joker lap, a tactical weapon. Take it early, you'll risk getting stuck in traffic. Take it late, you'll risk being blocked. No two rallycross races play out the same way. Now we're going to talk about some lesser discussed reasons why winning is so rare on iRacing. Leading a race is mentally exhausting. You're not just driving, you're defending, calculating, second guessing every braking point, worried about the slipstream, terrified of traffic and back markers. Think about it, how many times have you thrown away a race with 3 laps to go? Simply because you were thinking about the win instead of driving the corners. Everybody does it. Sometimes you get an easy split, but sometimes you accidentally land in a near pro split because not many drivers registered. One small sign-up variation and suddenly you're racing against aliens. A lot of drivers have been racing these sims for 10 years plus. They know every trick in the book, every hidden pit entry, brake marker, every dirty air effect. Winning across multiple disciplines doesn't just take raw speed, it takes adaptability. You need to unlearn your habits at times every time you switch. Drive a NASCAR, hug the apron. Drive an LMP2, avoid the apron like it's lava. Knowing how to tweak wing angles, tyre pressures, gear ratios across different vehicles, that's an art in itself, and that's why the setup shops are so successful. Simply put, the best drivers are putting in 15 to 25 hours a week minimum in the sim. If you're hopping between disciplines casually, you're already failing behind these specialists. So here's some key takeaway, viewers and listeners. You probably won't win often. You've got to think about that right from the start. But you can engineer your chances over time. Here's a few tips. Master one thing at a time. Don't try to be a jack of all trades at first. Pick one discipline, get good at that one, then start to branch out as you become more confident and more experienced. Practice under race conditions. Hot lapping solo is fine while you're learning the track and the braking points, but it's racecraft in traffic that wins you races. Fix your weakest link. Now that sounds obvious, but it's hard. Are you bad at starts? Focus on them. Are you bad at tyre management? Run long stints in practice. Find what your weakest link is and solely practice on that to improve. And find a way of recording the improvement as well so you can clearly see it. Accept that bad luck just happens. Even the pros get taken out, even the best drivers get wrecked. So don't quit, just learn from it. It's part of iRacing. And celebrate small victories. Did you survive turn 1? Did you cleanly defend a position? Those are wins too, and they build up into real results. Okay, that's it for our first subject matter today. Remember, winning is hard. Winning across multiple disciplines is even harder. But if it were easy, it wouldn't be worth chasing your iRating or progression in the license classes. That's what makes iRacing so good, and we get so passionate about it. Stick with it, learn, grind, and when you finally break through, when you finally stand on that virtual podium, it's going to mean more than an easy win ever could. If you've got your story about your first win or your toughest loss, send them into the podcast. We'd love to feature them. I've got a few other bits of feedback as well from the community. I asked a few people about what it was like getting your first win and how did you do it. So one listener's tip is stop worrying about winning. This person says, I stopped racing to win and started racing just to survive cleanly. Ironically, that's when the wins started to come. Clean racing put me in a position for opportunities I never would have gotten otherwise. That's a big one. If you focus less on forcing wins and more on running smart, the results naturally follow. Here's another listener tip. Pick one car and stick with it. This listener says, for months I was bouncing between cars, F3 one week, GT3 the next, Mazda MX-5 after that. I got frustrated. Once I committed to mastering just one car, the MX-5, everything started to click. Consistency breeds confidence. I love that one. If you're a regular listener of the podcast, you've heard me talk about consistency above racing speed for many episodes, and that's where you build confidence from. You can't build speed if you're constantly resetting your muscle memory every week. So that listener's right. Pick one car and stick with it. Here's another hot tip, folks, from another listener. Learn the art of defensive driving. This listener says, my first win didn't come because I was the fastest. It came because I defended like my life depended on it. Late apexes, smart blocking, knowing when to fire and when to tuck in. That saved me. Defence wins championships, folks, and occasional iRacing splits too. So take that on board. Blocking is allowed as long as you move early and you're not weaving and blocking late. Another listener has told me about practicing race starts and lap 1. The biggest game changer for this driver was practicing launches and surviving the chaos of lap 1. I used to lose 5 spots at the start, or worse, they said, and I got wrecked. Once I nailed my starts and learned to leave space, I finished more races, and eventually I started winning. And that is a crucial skill that you've got to get used to in iRacing, listeners and viewers. First lap survival should honestly be part of its own separate sim to gain that skill. And finally, the last tip from listeners is visualize success before the green. Before every race, while I'm sitting on the grid, I close my eyes, this listener says, and visualize a clean, calm opening lap. I'm glad they have a calm opening lap. No crazy moves, no desperation lunges, just smooth execution. It rewires my brain to stay composed under pressure. And last week's podcast touched a little bit on that as well, listeners and viewers. Mindset is everything, especially when nerves are high. You're sitting maybe in P1 on the grid. There's nothing more nervous than starting that race, especially if it's your first time on pole with another 20 drivers all revving their engines behind you. So that's our first subject matter today, folks. It's been all about how to get your first win. And as I've said, send us some emails about how you got your first win, what you had to do, and how did you overcome all those nerves and other anxieties that come with getting on that virtual podium. Dre is the audible iRacers companion. Want to improve your results or get more wins? Download Dre, the digital race engineer. Hit the link in the show notes for a 10% discount. So our second subject today, I thought we'd look at all the disciplines in iRacing and kind of decide which one is the hardest to get a win. We just talked about how elusive to get a win is in iRacing. Now we're going to talk about what specific discipline is the hardest to get a win in, if you like. So, before we even start ranking anything, we need to define what do we mean by hard. Is raw difficulty? Is it raw difficulty to drive? Is it field strength? Is it randomness and luck playing a bigger role? For this episode, I'm defining hard to win as a mix of driver skill ceiling, how good you have to be to contend, racecraft challenge, how hard is it to actually survive battles, randomness or risk factors, how much outside your control, consistency requirements, how many mistakes you're allowed, which usually is none. Every discipline demands different things. So we're going to go through them one by one. We're going to start with road racing. Road racing covers everything from MX5 at Lime Rock to GT3s at Spa to F1 car at Monza. What makes winning here so tough? Precision over long distances. One missed apex can cost you tenths. One off track can mean a penalty or crash. You're often doing 30 to 60 minute races when your mind cannot drift for a second. Unlike ovals, where you can sometimes lean on people, road racing penalises contact harshly. Passing cleanly without ruining both your and your opponent's races is an art in itself. If you're racing endurance or multi-class events, you have to deal with being overtaken and overtaking safely dozens of times in a race. Road racing is the most popular discipline worldwide, meaning splits are stacked. Even bottom splits often have sneaky fast drivers. Bottom line is, to win in road racing, you need to be flawless and smart across an entire race distance. Now moving into oval racing. It has its high banks. Ovals might look simple, just turn left, turn right, but it's one of the most strategically deep disciplines. So what makes winning here brutal, folks? Close quarter combat for a start. You're inches, sometimes millimetres from your rivals for laps on end. One tiny tap at 200 miles an hour and the race is over, and usually it's a big pile-up. Especially in NASCAR, trucks, Xfinity and Cup cars at super speedways like Daytona or Talladega. You can do everything right and still get wiped out by someone else's bad move. Cautions also shuffle the deck constantly. Restarts are absolute chaos. A single bad restart might turn a win into a 20th place finish. And then you've got pit and tyre management along with that as well. Knowing when to push and when to conserve tyres is a black art. Also, pit road penalties are race killers. Excuse me. Aero push makes passing also harder. You can't just catch someone and fly by. You have to plan it laps ahead. Bottom line for oval racing, it demands a mastery of strategy, patience and nerves of steel under constant stress. Moving on to dirt oval racing. Here's where things go a bit crazy because the track itself is trying to kill you. It has changing conditions, so the fast line moves, the grooves form, ruts appear, dust kicks up. What worked in lap 1 might not be quite working now as you go into the wall by lap 20. You're constantly on the edge, balancing throttle, steering and sliding the car. It's less driving and more dancing with your car. Everyone throws sliders in these races as well, aggressive dive bomb passes, and you have to both attack and defend in a tiny window of space while your car is usually sliding on an angle. Many dirt oval races are also very short, 30 laps or less. One mistake and there's no time to recover, and that's your I rating or safety down. You also need a bit of luckery as well. You can get caught in pile-ups or tagged by someone trying a wild move. Bottom line, Dirt Oval rewards raw instinct and adaptability, but punishes hesitation and small errors massively. Next up, it's the Dirt Road Racing, mainly rallycross. Think of it as a short, high-intensity battle where half the race is on asphalt, half on dirt, and chaos is guaranteed. Why is it so hard? Surface transitions, you need to adapt corner by corner. Braking and grip on dirt is vastly different from asphalt, so you've got that transition to cope with. Rallycross is semi-contact sport. Rubbing is common, sometimes even encouraged. And then you've got the Joker lap. Every driver has to take the Joker lap once per race, and choosing when to take it breaks or makes your race. And you don't want to crash while you're going through that Joker lap area on the track as well. It's embarrassing, never mind the amount of time you're going to lose. Avoiding mistakes is very, very difficult as well. Tight circuits mean you can't run wide or even go off track without losing huge chunks of time. Bottom line, rallycross is high stakes improvisation, fast thinking, fast adapting and fast racing. And the final discipline is kind of dirt road but in pro trucks. It is like mixing rallycross, trophy truck racing and chaos together. There's massive track variations. It has jumps, ruts, water splashes, all can wreck your race. Pro 4 trucks especially need throttle finesse through the rough. With heat racing and LCQs or last chance qualifiers, every race is a sprint. There's no time to settle in. So the bottom line is that the truck racing demands wild car control and sheer guts, and you're kind of lucky if you finish some races at times. So we're going back to our opening question then, folks. Which discipline is the hardest overall? And don't forget, this is just my opinion. So which is the hardest? We're going to start with 5th place is Dirt Road Rallycross. Super intense, but race lengths are short and fields are smaller, making wins slightly more achievable if you nail your strategy. 4th place, Dirt Oval. Huge adaptability needed, but shorter race formats sometimes let aggressive drivers look into wins. 3rd place, Oval Racing. Strategic depth is incredible, but randomness, cautions and wrecks means you can sometimes sneak a win in chaotic races. In 2nd place, Road Racing. Field strength, race length and technical demands. A proper road win is earned and deeply hard fought. And the winner and the hardest discipline is the off-road dirt truck. It demands everything: car control, surface adaptation, survival instincts, split-second decision making. Plus, with LCQs and jump risks, it's easier to be eliminated early, meaning winning is the hardest overall. If you snag a Pro 4 truck win against a strong field, you've absolutely earned it, folks. And if you win consistently there, hats off to you, you're a monster. Look, at the end of the day, winning in iRacing is hard no matter what discipline you choose, and we've heard a lot about all sorts of versions on today's podcast. If you're pushing yourself to get better, if you're a clean racer, and if you're learning every race, you're doing the work that eventually leads to standing at the top of any podium. No discipline, hands out, wins for free. That's the end of the day, isn't it? Keep pushing, keep racing smart. And when the checkered flag finally falls your way, it's a feel 1,000 times sweeter knowing that you fought for it. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today on the Load Road iRacers podcast. If you've got a different opinion on which discipline is the hardest, send me what your take is on our show's email. I love to hear it. Until next time, folks, keep your heads down, your wheels straight, and stay on the lone road. And I'll see you on the track soon. Happy iRacing!